Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, Bhante.
I want to continue this talk on Metta. I think you all know today is the last talk, and I want to conclude this by this talk. And let me try to bring as much information as possible from the Karaniya Metta Sutta, the sutta we recite every day in Pali most of the time, and in English at least once a day here at Bhavana. When we practice metta in thoughts, words and deeds, Buddha said that there could be 7 benefits. Yesterday I mentioned 11 benefits, and in Kosambhya Sutta Buddha mentioned another 7 benefits. These 7 benefits are particularly addressed to bhikkhus, and lay people also can be benefited from this practice in these 7 ways. And the person who practices metta will feel that my mind is ready for realizing the truth. Because why and how one feels that one's mind is ready for realizing truth is because greed and hatred, 2 of the major roots of defilements, are overcome when we practice metta. Ignorance, of course, is also fundamental root, but by practicing metta we cannot overcome ignorance. We have to do another series of practices to overcome ignorance. But these 2 mental states or unwholesome states or roots of unwholesome can be overcome by practicing metta. When these 2 are overcome, then the person feels this time the mind is ready for realizing the truth. That is number 1. Number 2, one will gain serenity and insight. Serenity and insight is called samatha vipassana. It is very interesting when we practice metta, our development of our mind would reach to a level where we can practice both samatha and vipassana, tranquility and insight. Then number 3, one would certainly be sure that there are no one in any tradition can reach this state without practicing metta. One would definitely be sure that nobody in no tradition can attain this state of mind without practicing metta. Whoever reaches this state has to practice metta. Fourth, when you practice metta, this also is a very, very important thing. We must confess as soon as we commit an offense against somebody. Immediately we feel like confessing. Confession relieve our burden. You probably might have seen that when you do something wrong, you immediately apologize. That moment, you and the offended would feel something very great. Mind becomes released. You become relaxed. You can maintain your friendship. You can talk to the person in a very cordial way. And metta practitioners would do this very easily, quickly, when the mind is relaxed by the practice of metta, confession. Confession, of course, is very traditional in Buddhist Theravada, Buddhist monastic life, but this can be practiced even by lay people, and to feel relief of guilt or hard feeling. Then one would practice mindfulness just like a cow grazes by keeping her calf by her side. She is grazing, eating grass, but at the same time her mind and corner of her eyes are on the baby to make sure that little calf is following her and not getting into any trouble. As soon as she noticed any trouble, she would become furious, very quickly stop eating and rush to the dangerous object and keep attacking. Similarly, when we practice mindfulness, metta always is there, close, going along with mindfulness. And you don't forget your metta when you practice mindfulness. Then the sixth benefit is whenever you listen to Dhamma, when you hear Dhamma talk, you would listen to it more keenly than before. You are like a person who is thirsty, has not had water for a long time. You are very thirsty. You want to drink every drop of Dhamma. Because that is the time you begin to appreciate Dhamma more than before. Because you have tasted the Dhamma. What is the taste of Dhamma? Buddha mentioned in many places. What is the taste of Dhamma? Upasama sukha. Just like ocean water, no matter at what place you taste, Atlantic or Pacific, Indian or anywhere, any ocean you taste the same thing, salt. Salinity may be different from place to place, like Caspian Sea and so forth, Middle East, Mediterranean, because evaporation is very quick and therefore you feel more salty there, and yet you feel salt in ocean water. Similarly, Dhamma has one taste, the taste of peace. When you practice metta, this is the taste you get. You get the taste of peace. And therefore, you want to drink more and more Dhamma. It's a very wonderful benefit. And then you gain, the last benefit, you gain inspiration. Not only you are keen, interested in listening to Dhamma, but you become even more enthusiastic. You get inspired, inspiration. These are the 7 benefits of practicing metta. So you get now 18 benefits, not only 11, and these 7 to 11 you get 18 benefits. Just think of each of them very carefully. Read these sutras, these places, and try to apply them to your life. You certainly will feel wonderful feeling. I don't have to tell you, I cannot tell you the feeling you get when you practice it sincerely. Don't ask questions, don't criticize, don't analyze, don't try to find the grammar, etymology and all these. Leave all these additional things aside and simply practice, and from time to time, look at your mind. From time to time, feel metta. Then you definitely will confirm this, and you really will be the testimony, the witness of the benefit of these 18 benefits. So, Buddha advised us to practice metta at 3 levels: physical, verbal and mental. Do physical act with metta. Metta is not just mere repetition of words or just sitting in one place and feeling, but it is something we put into action through our work. Do whatever you do with metta in mind. Eat your food with keeping metta in mind. Because so, see, although even you may pay in restaurants and so on, you still can practice metta for those who have worked very hard to bring that food to the restaurant, prepare it for you, and serve you on the table. We particularly must eat monastics with metta for people who bring restaurants to us. Today we go to a restaurant, not just food. You go to restaurants, but restaurants come to us. When see the amount of the buffet, what was not there? Main dishes, side dishes, dessert, drinks, and also serving with love and care. When they serve monks, they are filled with love and care and respect. Offer it and bow down to us. They just don't put things on the table and say, hey, dinner is ready, come and eat. not like that. So we must eat that food with tremendous love for people, with metta, with compassion. For them to prepare this food to bring all the way here, from Baltimore, New York, Washington, to this forest, in the forest. What for? They gain nothing, except they have wonderful feeling of sharing. Sharing is wonderful thing. When you share, you are the one who enjoys, not the recipients. We get food like this, and people who offer tremendously enjoy it, thinking that they give something, not thinking that receive something. Recipients have some obligations. Givers don't have any obligations. They just give. Give with love and respect. On our part, we must receive it with metta. Wish them peace, happiness, good health, longevity, and all these noble things that you wish to have in your life out of metta. So, that is physical act. They do physical act, we do mental act. Metta we practice in mind. And when they talk, when we talk with metta, not with anger. And then we think with metta. When we do these three things, we get those 7 benefits and those 11 benefits. You had a problem in practicing metta because you think this is just you sit down and repeat words. While you are doing it, anger can arise, resentment can arise, and so forth. But stop for that. Stop that for a minute, for a while. Do some work physically with metta. It's not difficult. Helping someone with metta. Then we mentioned yesterday the qualities a metta practitioner must have as outlined in Metta Sutta. And I came up to humility, and I gave the story of Venerable Sariputta. Today I want to continue the rest, most of the things taken from Metta Sutta. First, next quality, one should be content. One should be content. There is a saying, asantutto yati nashta, santushta mahipatih in Sanskrit. Asantutto yati nashta. A monastic, if he is not content, that destroys his monastic life. If the monastic is not content, this discontentment will destroy the monastic life. The opposite is for the king. Santushto mahipati. King, ruler, leader will be destroyed if he is content. He has to be greedy. But monastic is just the opposite. So, contentment also is a very big thing in Buddhist tradition, because when we are not content and keep demanding, we are not practicing metta. We are demanding things from people. People have to work very hard to maintain themselves, maintain their families, pay their bills, pay their mortgages. In addition to that, they also have to support us. So if we are not content and keep demanding, we are not practicing metta. If we are content and learn to live with the bare minimum, that will not be a burden upon people. So people will not run away from us. People will get close to us. If we demand them, if we demand all the time, they say, don't go to the temple. Every time you go there, they ask for this and ask for this and that. They run away. They lose the opportunity to learn Dhamma. And they lose the opportunity to learn Dhamma to reduce their suffering. And if we want them to come closer to us, listen to Dhamma, to reduce their suffering, we must practice metta, and as a sign of metta practice, be content. Be content. I have many things to say about this, but I restrain myself. Then, people normally are expanders. That's called pavatikama. Pavatikama means the method of expanding. That is why you marry. So you are single, then you became double, problems double and double, suffering double. And so you're alone, you have only one problem, only one person. When you become two, you increase your problem. When you have children, one child, three. When you have two, you have four. So you keep increasing your problem, your suffering. That's called pavatikama. Monastic life is nivatikama, the method of reducing and getting rid of this expansionism. So one who is learning to train oneself to stop this expansionism must be content. And if we are discontent, we will no longer be monastic, we will be exactly like any other lay person. So metta practice, one who wants to practice metta also must learn to be content. Then, and therefore, easy to support. Subhara, easy to support. That is why in early Buddhism, the monastics were living on alms food, going from house to house. It's not permitted here, otherwise we would like to do it here too. But it is not very easy because houses are too far away, people are not so used to it. When you go to houses to collect food, how much you get? Very maybe 2 teaspoonfuls of something, maybe 1 serving spoon of something. Not big, large spoon. That will not be a burden to the family. They cook every day anyway, and giving a little bit of it to a monk is not a big burden. So Buddha encouraged us to do that. So, easy to support. There are so many things to say about all these things. Each of them is a title by itself, but we try to reduce it. And one who practices metta should have few duties. Why is that? You know, when you have so much work to do, every minute you spend working, you will be stressful, you have tension, you have anxiety, you are worrying, you want to finish the job. Is there any time to practice metta? Metta practice will become very difficult when you are stressful and full of tension, worries and so forth. You cannot do that. So Buddha said, have few duties, few work. Then live a very light life, living lightly, not with exuberance. When the life is simple, we have plenty of time to practice metta, plenty of time to practice mindfulness, meditation. And then, to practice metta, we have to control our senses. When we let the senses be bombarded with all kinds of sensory stimuli, the mind will not be in a position to practice metta. So the samvara, restraining our senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind, helps us to practice metta. Then be discreet. Instead of trying to be very advancing, going out of one's way to do various things, to get popular and this and that, be decreased, what you call discreet, and not impudent. And another thing that also is very important for monastic practice, monastic individuals to practice metta, this may not work very well for lay people, but not impossible for them to also practice it, but lay life is such that this particular aspect may be difficult for them to practice. That means unattached to families. Unattached to families. Why? When we are attached to anybody, anything, any family, our metta practice will go haywire. We focus our mind on that particular family and become attached to that particular family, and metta practice will become very difficult. Then one should not do any slight wrong which the wise might censor. When we commit an offences, here even Buddha said, not even slightest, nacha khuddang samachare, kinchi yena vinyu pare upavadeyo. Nacha khuddang samachare. Try not to do even the slightest offense which a wise person will censor. Why is that? On the one hand, wise person might get disappointed, irritated, upset, displeased, and you hurt the wise person's feeling. When you practice metta, you are not supposed to do things to hurt people's feelings. Even slightest offense can hurt wise persons. And then, when they are offended, they might reprimand you, then you will not feel comfortable to practice metta. So it works in both ways.